I don't want to be missing out on life. And it's really a tool for helping me live better. Last couple weeks, my anxiety has gotten to a point where it's been debilitating, to the point where it is hard for me to even parent my kids very well. I just feel that anxious, fluttery feeling in your chest. I was starting to get like chest tightness, and it was concerning me because it's chest tightness. I was pretty sure it was from the anxiety, but I still went to the doctor. Basically just feeling constantly nauseated all the time. And no, I'm not pregnant. It's not that. Like, this is legit anxiety. And so I was like, I have kids that I need to take care of. Like, I can't just stop functioning. I have to do something to take care of myself. I have to get back to a functioning state because there are little living beings depending on me. Now, thank God for kids, because they really do keep you moving forward when you're going through something difficult. Like, you know, they don't know what's going on. You know, you can explain to them that you're sad because, you know, you have a friend that went to heaven and that kind of thing, but they don't fully understand the gravity of that. They still have all of their needs that need to be met, and you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other because you have to meet your kids' needs. It was feeling to me like meeting my kids' needs was like an insurmountable task. Like, I was doing it, but it was taking every little bit of will that I had to do it. And so I was like, I can't function this way. This has reached a point where it is becoming debilitating. So I went to my doctor, and I love our primary care. Well, she's not actually a doctor, she's a nurse practitioner, but she's our primary care physician. She is amazing. We have been with her since Alex was born, and she's a Christian as well. She's just so amazing. I remember she prayed for me after I had my miscarriages. I'll have my miscarriage stories linked here, but she's just been there with us. Like, who has doctors that pray with them? I think she's very tactful about, you know, whether you have faith or not, but she's amazing. And so I talked with her about what I've been going through and decided that it was time for me to try going on a medication. Like I said, I've been listening to some of my fellow YouTubers talk about how they have actually specifically been dealing with depression or anxiety or both, and how they have gone on medication and how it has just made a world of difference in how they are functioning, how they are feeling, how they are interacting with their kids. They just feel more present and alive. And I was like, I really think that this is a route that I need to consider. Even though I am eat, pray, crunch, I'm, you know, moderately crunchy, I do prefer to try every natural remedy I can first. And I really have, you know, I was trying to exercise. You know, as per suggestion of you guys, I was taking like B vitamins and ginseng and things that are supposed to help regulate your stress response and that kind of thing, and it did help a little bit. Oh, I was using my Anxiety Ease essential oil as well from Eden's Garden, and that definitely was helping take the edge off, but it was only taking the edge off. It was definitely there, much more deep than that. So for the very first time in my life, I am now on an anti-anxiety medication. You know, the interesting thing is, once I started talking to some of my friends about this, like, I have had actually multiple friends say, oh, I'm on an anti-anxiety or an antidepressant as well. And I'm like, what? I actually have a lot of friends who are in this same kind of situation. I've heard people say that, like, why should mental illness be treated any different than a physical disease? You know, when you find out that somebody has a physical disease, you're like, oh, that's too bad. Like, what can I do to help you? People jump in to help. Whereas with mental illness, there's more of a taboo around it, although I feel like that is changing. Hence why I'm talking about this right now. The tide is shifting in mental illness being less taboo, because it is so common. I was just surprised how many people in my life have struggled with anxiety and depression and are on medication for it. So while it's definitely not my first choice, I really don't want to be on pharmaceuticals if I don't have to be. I really don't. But I really was feeling like I was getting to a point where I have to function. I have to take care of my kids. Like, that is non-negotiable. I can't just futz around trying natural things that in my particular case right now aren't working anymore. So it's time to pull out the big guns. And so that's what I have done. Okay, so let me tell you, I had no idea how bad it was. I have been on the anti-anxiety drug for 2 weeks now, and they said it takes about 2 weeks for it to kick in, and today especially, I feel like it really kicked in. Now, the first 2 weeks were really rough, and the doctor said that that was normal, especially with the one that I'm on. It takes a whole month for it to fully take effect, but you know, the first 2 weeks your anxiety can actually get a lot worse, and that was true. I was having like multiple panic attacks a day. I was even waking up from my sleep and having panic attacks. I would be like like my entire body would be drenched with sweat, and I would wake up in a panic attack, and I would have to like get up and kind of like do what I would do if I was having a nightmare, where I'd have to like get up and reorient myself. It was bad, like even worse than it was when I started this thing. Thankfully, they gave me another drug. It's kind of a sedative drug that I can take at night that can help deal with that, and I did. I felt like I was going crazy. Like I felt like I was going crazy. Anyway, so the first 2 weeks have been really rough, but now that I'm 2 weeks in, oh my God, it has made all the difference. I can't even tell you. I didn't even realize how bad it was until now that I am feeling good. It has really given me perspective. Like today I woke up and I had energy, I had motivation, I was not feeling anxious, like I was able to get through my day, like I was productive, I was really engaged with my kids, I felt like I was present, so much more present. I hadn't even realized how I was not feeling that way very much at all before. And even though I wasn't in that like really deep depression like I was, you know, a few weeks ago, I think I did also have a chronic low level of depression. I remember talking with my primary care physician months ago about how I've had chronic fatigue, and we just couldn't pinpoint why I was having chronic fatigue and just motivation problems, just really having a hard time having the get up and go that I needed. You know, it's just like survival mode, just getting through the things that I needed to get through with the kids. Honestly, YouTube has been my therapy. It's because it's a creative outlet, and honestly, that's like one of the biggest things I have continually had motivation for all along. So it's been a really good thing for me, I think. But sometimes, like, you know, the dishes or the kids' clutter has just felt like an insurmountable task for me, and I didn't even realize that like it's not entirely normal to feel like that. It's just impossible to deal with mentally, that there's this mental block, and I didn't realize that that fatigue, that motivation problem, that mental block problem I was having, I really think it was a low-level depression. Not that I was feeling like down or that extreme heaviness like I was feeling with the really bad depression, but it was kind of like a little bit of a weight and a fog, and I didn't even realize that until now that I've been on this medication for a while. I was like, I feel lighter, I feel lighter. You know, my views about medication for dealing with this kind of thing have changed now. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't try to deal with the root cause. Obviously you should. I am actually going to try and find a counselor really soon as well, because holistic aspect, conventional medicine aspect, I'm going to try and go at it from both aspects, because I really do want to get at the root cause and find, you know, tools and techniques for dealing with my anxiety and that kind of thing. Just in 2 weeks, it has changed my ability to function, and I have motivation. It's like amazing. I can't even tell you. I just feel so much better. It really does make a difference. Now, that's not to say that I'm not still grieving about our friend, because I am. I am still, it's not like it completely just like numbs you. Like, it doesn't even feel like numbing to me, because I'm still feeling the grief. Like, I'm still feeling the weight of the world, so to speak, but it all feels manageable now, and it's without the anxiety. So I don't even know if I have like a moral to this story. I'm just telling my story. Mental illness, depression, anxiety, yes, there are circumstantial elements to it. But there is also a genetic aspect to it. There are members of my family who struggle with anxiety as well, anxiety and depression. I know there is a genetic aspect to it. And I think when you're genetically prone to it, when you have those heavy circumstances going on in your life, it just, switches those genes on. If you guys don't know what epigenetics are, look it up. It's very interesting how genes can switch on and off with your environment. It's a legitimate genetic thing, chemical thing going on in your brain. It's kind of a chicken and an egg thing. Is it a chemical imbalance causing the experience of depression and anxiety, or is it the experience of depression and anxiety from circumstances causing the chemical imbalance? I don't know, but it is a chemical imbalance. And being on medication has helped me cope. And not only cope, but I am like feeling more alive again and enjoying life again, and just having motivation to do things again and having energy to do things. Like, I didn't even realize my chronic fatigue was weighing me down. Like, I feel like there is so much that I have missed. Looking back, there are things that I avoid doing because of my anxiety. There are events that I avoid going to. There are various things that I don't do because I have so much anxiety that I feel like I can't even leave the house with the kids sometimes. I just view that as like, oh, it's just so much work leaving the house with the kids, which it is, but like, it feels different. Like, today I took the kids out running errands and it didn't stress me out. The last couple years, every time I go out with the kids, it stresses me the heck out. And so it was just like, oh, I don't want to be missing out on life. And it's really a tool for helping me live better, because who wants to go through life like that? Like, I don't. It is getting better, but still people don't talk about it a lot. And I think people feel inadequate when they feel like they are struggling so much that they can't deal with the things in their lives. Like, why can't I get it together? Why can't I get it together? And you realize that it's not, when you're dealing with mental illness, it's not just something that you can snap out of. It's not just something you can will yourself to stop, because you can't. Like, trust me, I have tried everything. You can't just will yourself to stop feeling that way. I mean, like, you can distract yourself, you can do things that are self-care, that kind of thing, and they help, but it still doesn't turn it off. It's still always there. It's kind of a part of who you are. And that's okay. Like, we're imperfect beings, and all of us struggle with something. All of us, every single one of us. And if somebody tells you they're not struggling with something, or that they have never struggled with something, they are lying, because everybody has or is struggling with something. So anyway, if this is something that you guys have struggled with as well, please leave a comment below and let me know if I can pray for you. And just be encouraged that, there is no shame in seeking help. If you are feeling heavy, if you are feeling like you have a debilitating anxiety, don't feel like, oh, I just need to snap out of it. Oh, I just need to get a better control of myself. Oh, I just need to do this. I just need to do that, because that isn't necessarily going to change it. There's so much in life worth experiencing, and it's not worth going through life like that. So be encouraged. There is no shame in seeking help, either getting medication or seeing a counselor or doing both. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. I can tell you now from personal experience, I don't know why I have waited this long, honestly. But I guess that's just kind of true in life a lot of the times. It takes something drastic to really bring things to a head sometimes, and that's kind of what this last month has been for me. God works through these difficult circumstances sometimes and brings you through. And I really feel, spiritually sound in taking medication. In fact, it almost makes me feel like I'm even better able to connect with God that way, because it clears that mental, spiritual fog. If you or anyone you know might find this video helpful, be sure to share it with them if it might be encouraging to them. And thank you guys for listening to my story. I get very long-winded in my YouTube videos sometimes, because I feel like YouTube is definitely a form of therapy for me as well. Just interacting with you guys and having that community with you. People saying, oh, me too, and just having that solidarity, that common human experience, just supporting each other, even if it's through the internet. I think that's a really powerful thing. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you later. Bye.